It's working. It's on the other YouTube channel. It says starting. And it has begun. Okay, so I'll drop in the link for you. I think. You know the other channel, right? Oh my god, I'm gonna beat myself. Well, it's working. I don't know what to say. Now it says, yeah, we're live. Okay, you guys found it? You guys are awesome. Let me drop the... Here is the link for you guys if you need to find it. Here it is. I put it in the chat room. Now let me drop it in on... I'm going to drop it on... What do you call it? Alright, I'm going to get this started up with some... Where I was before. I'm just going to play this for you while I do some work and... Nah, I'll just talk to you. That's not fair. I'll just talk to you guys. While we're doing this, I'll just play this. And I'll turn on the camera to make sure it's working. Here we go.
Hi.
Can you see me?
Hey, Nefertia!
Alert.
How are you, my friend? Thank you. Oh, I was hoping you would talk to me tonight. Yeah, the who?
The who?
Something
Who?
happened. It's not working, is it? There it is.
I miss you, my friend.
Who? Who? Me?
Me?
Our?
Lauer?
Hi.
Nefertia. Brother. I love you, buddy.
Good job.
Who?
Who?
Marble.
Me.
1, 2, 3.
Bad. Bad. This is a ninja.
Niña?
Ninja.
Thank you, my friend.
Ninja.
Nya?
Ninja.
Nya, nya.
Ninja.
Nya.
I'm gonna give up.
Woo.
The weird thing is, I don't see the chat on my end. I'm not getting the chat. Something's wrong. It's gotta be a bit. This is annoying as hell, right? Tell me this isn't annoying. I can't see any of the chat, so I hope it's working for you guys. I know it's frustrating when we have these delays like this, and just put yourself in my shoes. I literally want to kill myself right now. I hate that it doesn't work right. I don't know why it didn't. Doesn't make any sense. I can't figure it out. What can you do? This is technology that I'm stuck with. See, and I see you guys. Yeah, I did. I put a shirt on with some buttons. I wanted to look a little decent for once. I always look like crap. Let me button this top one here because it's showing too much chest hair. Just kidding. Yeah, the Ouija board is right next to me. That's true. It says I'm having buffering issues. I don't know why. I mean, I have a super fast internet, guys. I mean, literally, it's like up your ass fast, you know? Doesn't make sense. I closed every browser that's open. I don't know what to say. Maybe it'll work itself out, you know? So, for now, this is it. Glad you're here. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. And another shitstorm to show. Actually, yes, I did shart the show this time. I sharted. I'm not happy. I have it turned this way so I could talk to you guys tonight to go to a little more visual. I went out to buy the background. You know, I wanted to have this black background surrounding me so you don't see all the windows and things. And I just hung some stuff up there for the show tonight. They were closed. I went to 2 fabric stores. They said they were open. And they were closed. Very frustrating. I was having issues. Like, I did the test shows. And then I realized that it was a little bit choppy. So I wanted to fix the choppiness. And all I did was change the bit rate in the stream. And it won't let me... Oh, so you're not that far behind. Shart, I said that 20 seconds ago. So the delay's not bad. But it says the video output is low, and I don't understand why. But what I'll do is this. It may be because I'm on this page, so I won't be able to see the chat at all. I don't know why my chat's not working. I have my own chat, and it's not working. Let me try this here. Nope. Yeah, I don't know why the chat isn't working. Let me see if I type something here. Oh, no. Oh, I realized why. Oh, that's because I'm on the other GUFON radio. No, that shouldn't matter. No, that shouldn't matter. Let me see something. I'm going to see if it showed up over there, and then we'll start the show. Yep, it didn't work, did it? You can't see me chat, and I can't chat unless I type here. That's weird. I don't want to do it this way, so I am getting out of this YouTube. I think that may be slowing things down, so I'm out of there. You guys can't see what I'm doing. That's good. So I'm going to get the show started. Let me grab a drink here. No fancy music. No copyright stuff for tonight. You know, I'm testing everything out. All these shows, they're legitimate, but they're also test shows. So as I figure things out, I'm going to play some things that I like in the beginning and just have some fun with this. And I don't really care about downloads. If people want to listen to it, they can go to Spreaker and download the show there. People know about Spreaker, so they can go there. Here it says, I had a show streaming an hour ago for 26 minutes. Yes, that was a little test I did. And it already has 13 views. All right. So let me pull up the show. We'll get this going, and I'll see what I want to talk about first. I've got a lot of things I want to talk about. Pat posted a video of the UFO leaving the moon through a telescope, and I'd have to admit it's really cool. I'm going to play that. And then there's people think they have proof that the moon is not 238,900 miles away. They think it's a lot closer. And wait until you see this. And it's interesting. I'm going to tell you, I think it's interesting. I'm a little scared. Because it's just, you'll see. I couldn't get the words out. All right. Also, is the Earth's crust leaking water into the ocean? Actually, under the ocean. We've always heard about the firmament that protects us from space, right? Because if we're living on a flat Earth in a bubble under a firmament, whatever you want to believe, Supposedly the ocean is up top, and if the firmament breaks, all the water pours in. Wouldn't that be wild if we are in like a planetarium type scenario? You know, you can't dismiss everything because we don't know. We don't. Now, I know we think we see rockets go into space, but in reality, we always see them curve. It looks like they're going back into the ocean. To me, it does. I mean, I know they should go just straight up, right? But they don't. They always curve. I don't know why, but there's a reason for it and I can't remember. But is the Earth, because, you know, it's very interesting because I talked about it, never was able to show you, but there are rivers and lakes and the parts of the oceans at the beach just disappearing. And it's huge. That's right. Mr. Huge is going to be, I'm going to use Mr. MBB333, one of his videos. For people on Spreaker, you won't be able to hear it. That's the cost of being on Spreaker nowadays. But it will be on YouTube. Also, the Phobos monolith. And then some. There's not just the Phobos monolith. There's a couple on other moons and planets. Don't you think that's interesting? I do and I don't. I think there's a problem with these videos. We'll get into that. Ooh-wee. And if we have time, we'll get into the moon is a mystery. And I also do want to talk about we don't exist. Doesn't that suck? I hate to tell it to you. I hate it. I hate it. I have to be the guy to bring the bad news. I just have to tell you, we don't exist. And I haven't checked on the chat room because I cannot. So I apologize for that. But if there's any issues, let me know in the... Oh, the curve of the liftoff is the ship using the spin of the Earth as a kind of slingshot. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Oh, that makes sense to me. That makes sense. Oh, brother. All right. So the only chat room I have available is the Spreaker. So if there's any issues on YouTube, let me know in the Spreaker chat. So I'm going to now play a clip. Let me go ahead and get this set up. I don't know. You still looking at me? Yeah, you are. I'm sorry about that. I apologize for this. So what are we going to do? We're going to do We Don't Exist first. So here we go. That's my new thing. And then I get it ready. And then I go like this. Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, I messed up. Hold on. So while you're listening, while you're getting that there, I'll get the video ready. You'll probably hear it. See? All right, here we go. I messed up. See, I was supposed to be quick on that, and I messed up. All right, here we go. Full screen video. Let's do full screen.
Advancements in quantum mechanical theories and new technologies that allow us to better perceive our universe and understand the answers to questions we never believed possible to answer seem to be developing every single day, as research scientists work to provide us with new insights and revelations to our universe that break the boundaries of what we ever thought was possible. These findings will often spawn new theories and enlightenments that will cause even the most stoic of people the need to sit back and collect their thoughts in order to come to terms with theories that are so mind-blowing they are often groundbreaking in their own right. So today, we will be visiting 5 theories about our very own universe that will absolutely blow your mind. We exist inside a black hole. The Big Bang has been a scientific discovery that has led countless physicists and research scientists scratching their heads since its first appearance. When scientists pointed their sensitive measuring devices towards the sky and picked up on the large quantities of background radiation of the universe that helped to paint an enlightening picture as to the original moments in time that our universe began, more questions began popping into their heads than could be answered. The most significant question seemed to be the most recursive. If the Big Bang created the universe, then what created the Big Bang? This was a question that would go unanswered for many decades, and many others attempting to abandon the thought altogether. How can we see what happened before anything ever even happened? This thought would soon change after mathematicians would make a strange comparison between the Big Bang and an unlikely celestial body that was still regarded as nothing more than theory. Black holes. Now, the theory behind black holes was more than just shrouded in mystery, and it was not until a man by the recognizable name of Albert Einstein helped humanity to realize that space and time are interwoven and connected in something we refer to as the fabric of space-time. Interestingly enough, the mathematical theory of mass then being able to stretch and distort this fabric similar to that of a rock resting on a cloth led to an innovative idea relative to the limits of this distortion. It was in the math that scientists believed that if the mass of an object grew to a certain size, this would cause the fabric of space-time to stretch and the mass, although finite, to be compressed into a zero-dimensional point with no volume, creating a singularity, or as we commonly refer to as, a black hole with a gravitational force so great that light itself could not escape it. Of course, initially, many scientists believed that an infinite density was impossible and that such an occurrence in the math was an obvious flaw that worked to prove the illegitimacy of general relativity and that black holes could not possibly exist. Of course, this would come to change in time as better technology has allowed us to observe the effects of gravitational distortion and the large supermassive black hole located at the centre of our galaxy. But an interesting comparison was made between the nature of black holes and the nature of the Big Bang in the meantime. It became obvious to quantum physicists that the math completely added up, that the Big Bang appeared to be the inverse perspective of the black hole, leading many physicists to believe that the creation of our universe very well could have been the creation of a black hole, and that existence and the stretching of space-time as we know in reference to the expansion of our universe could merely be us existing inside of a singularity. Could it be possible then that we are merely a product of an outside aging universe and that the original creation of our universe was from this event? Further evidence is provided when plotting out the fourth dimensional graphing of the timeline of our universe that shows a growing expanse from a singularity stretching out similar to an infinite density could stretch the fabric of space-time, leading many more scientists to find this theory to be a legitimate answer to the question of the Big Bang. An infinite loop. The world of infinites in mathematics have led to a tremendous amount of insights when discussing aspects of conceptual math.
You know what I just realized? Are we watching the wrong video? Are we watching the wrong video? Hold on. No, we're watching the right one. Oh, by the way.
None more so.
I know you guys, said you can see my tabs and everything. I really don't care, and I know you're just saying that because you don't want any of my personal stuff to get out there, but there's nothing here that you don't know about already. I mean, this stuff is just work stuff, which I don't even work there anymore, so, I can get rid of it. Outlook, Mixpad is something I use for music now, and my website, and all this stuff is nothing. It's not like you can, what I'm using, YouTube, Google, Facebook. Remember MySpace? All right, let's continue here. Where were we? Spinning spiral universe. This is supposed to be explaining that we don't exist. And then it goes into 5 theories about the universe that will blow your mind. So I don't know what made me think this was telling us that we don't exist, but I think the last one tells us we don't exist. Let's go. Actually, this one is good. They're all good from here. The next couple are pretty good. I know, I'm starting to show off a little slow. I'll vamp up to something fantastic. We'll have a crescendo. We'll all pass out. Here we go.
Infinite loop. The world of infinites in mathematics have led to a
Crescendo.
tremendous amount of insights when discussing aspects of conceptual math. None more so than the advancements made by George Cantor and fellow great mathematicians. This had, however, led to many complications in the world of real-world applications relative to the concept of infinites. A sphere, in this regard, could be considered an object with infinite points on its surface, and when the math is worked out correctly, one could, in perfect mathematical theory, create 2 perfect spheres with the same mass, size, and density of the original sphere. This is referred to as the Banach-Tarski paradox, and though many scientists had initially regarded the concepts of this application as impossible in the real world, the math was right.
Always hide my porn tabs.
It was not until many decades later that numerous researchers had begun noticing strange theories coming to light. The CERN Institute, during its testing of particle collisions and subatomic particles breaking down, began noticing a creation of more particles than initially started with. In fact, a paper had recently been published believing that not only was the Banach-Tarski paradox applicable in the real world, but that many of the calculation errors and research at CERN helped to prove that this phenomenon was already naturally occurring. If this research is correct, it could mean that the traditionally held theories of the laws of conservation of energy could be entirely incorrect, and that new particles could be cloned from existing particles naturally. This, alongside the existing mind-blowing theory that we exist inside a black hole, could very well mean that every time a new black hole is created, a universe in perfect copy of our own could be created as well.
All right, first of all, I gotta interrupt finally. I don't believe I just don't believe that there's multiple universes. I have a hard time with it. Look, I'm no physicist, not that I have to mention that, but I don't really believe in it. I know I'm cutting in here for a second because I don't believe that just because there's billions and billions of stars and planets and galaxies and who knows what, it doesn't mean that somebody somewhere looks exactly like me doing the same exact thing with just a little twinge off somewhere when I was 6 years old. See, I don't buy it. If everything is identical, then why is it copied? That doesn't make sense to me. Is it because someone else's life? Is that what they're telling us? Like with the 7 billion people on Earth, when one person changes something, the rest of us stays the same, but their world is different. So with every person, that means there's one slight change, that there's another universe built around that change? Do you see how complex and convoluted and impossible that sounds? Just because there are theoretical experiments done in a lab, you know, with your throwing your dots, what was that, the slit theory? The slit, you know, where they throw a ball and it breaks up and it splits into 2 balls when it goes, the slit experiment, that's what it's called. I'll pull it up. I will pull it up. Class, where are you guys? Oh, you're over there. I tell you, people just want to they just want to be the first one to say, but I said it first. I said there was 2 universes, see? Because if this ball splits into 2 balls, it's choosing this electron ball is deciding to go here or there. I don't understand how that is a copy of our whole universe and a duplication of me and you and everything we're doing now replicated somewhere else in an infinite universe. I don't buy it. It just doesn't make sense. People, they make the movie Interstellar, and if you're familiar with the end of that movie, it's based on that. Very frustrating, because you can't prove it. It's not proven. It's a theory, and it's based on everything relative in our universe. The other universes could have totally different mechanics. Everything's different. Up is down, down is up, left is right, right is wrong. Wait, no. See? Now you're confusing me. Don't get me started. All right, let's finish this up and get the hell out of here. Oh, what is this here? Oh, here we go. I got that. I'm up in the corner. I'm looking at the video now.
That we are stuck in what appears to be an infinite loop as the universe forms and dies countless times and falls into a black hole and restarts all over again. Of course, since...
So what he's saying is my theory, and I couldn't believe it. That's why I wanted to play this. My theory is we were spit out. The Big Bang Theory didn't really happen. The Big Bang Theory is a bunch of bullshit. I believe we were sucked into a black hole and spit out the other end. And that's a continual thing that keeps happening. Everything we see was spit out of the black hole, out of the ass of it. That's what each black hole is. Why do you think it's in the center of every universe? And it's, I believe, 1.5% the size of the actual universe it's in. Why that number is consistent doesn't make sense. That's why we could live in a simulated reality, matrix, alternate universe. I know I just said it's impossible to have copies of each other. That I don't believe, but I believe there are alternate universes. Just different people doing different things. Maybe there's a guy named Rich Giordano, but he's not doing this show and saying these words and these animatronics. Animatronics. It's me. I'm a robot. I just gave it up. By the way, if you're into really cool shit, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, the Terminator, Sarah Connor, that's all, folks. Sarah Connor Chronicles was one of the best 2 seasons of TV I've ever had. I love that show, and I'm sorry it was on. I think it was on a Friday, and any show that's on a Friday night is going to get blown out. Friday nights suck for TV. All right, let me finish this. This guy's talking about the universe that it keeps eating itself and spitting it out and redoing it. It's like a rehash.
Countless times and falls into a black hole and restarts all over again. Of course, since the very laws of the universe are unchanging, this would mean that all of the factors relative to creation would stay the same and ultimately create a universe that would play out exactly as our own.
No.
Could it be that you have seen this very video over 1 trillion times already?
No.
Regarding new theories, it could very well be possible.
No. No.
Multiverse theory. One startling revelation made by quantum physicists that has converted even the most optimistic individuals into nihilists is the concept of the multiverse theory. When pondering the mathematical implications and probability of a universe forming, as well as other theories in regard to dimensional mathematics, physicists began positing a thought experiment forward. Why did our universe form with these specific rules? With these specific numbers and laws of mathematics? Scientists believe that the odds of this occurring are so astronomical that it is far from probable that every variation of every possible universe exists to allow such occurrences. What is even more interesting is that researchers believe they have evidence of the multiverse theory occurring in the natural world, given the complete probabilistic determination of quantum mechanics and its properties such as Heisenberg's uncertainty principle and the formation of virtual particles. This could very well mean that every possible variation of every universe and every decision ever made could more than exist and could potentially, one day, be explored.
So does that mean you can tap into the universe like a psychic? Because, I don't believe in that, right? I mean, is it possible? Is that what they're doing? They're tapping into these other dimensions? Maybe that's what psychics... Well, I had a theory. As you know, I dabble in the arts of strange. And if you can see what's behind the camera is that big mosaic alien picture I have, which will be a part of the studio background. But I had a thought. I know. I had one thought. And I was watching Ghost Adventures Crew, and this could fall well within the multiple universe theory or whatever you want to believe in, that let's say 15 years ago, okay, forget that, scratch it. Let's say I did a Ouija board session right now, okay? And I move out of this place, and 8 years later, people are having strange things happen because I had so much energy forced into the Ouija board that maybe where I'm sitting, they are feeling the residual effect of what I did with the Ouija board. So if I did a Ouija board session right now and said, Dominus Ominous Satan, Dominus Ominous hello, and I don't say goodbye and I leave the door open. Oh, bullshit anyway. But I'm thinking, you know when they catch EVPs and they catch strange balls of light? Well, maybe that's the residual energy from the past. I understand that. But what if it's somebody in the future doing it? And you're getting that information. Is that what Nostradamus did with his snowball chance in hell predictions? I love how they always get these predictions after the fact. Oh, yeah. See here in the quatrain it says, the Twin Towers, the two fathers, whatever they call it. The twin brothers of the great New York. They always find it later. They never find it before. Nothing's ever solved. That's what bothers me about that whole thing. It's like nobody figures anything out that could actually help anybody. And if there is somebody doing it, then it would be like in X-Files. It would be, brought up. The government would have total control over it, and they would militarize it, and somehow you'd be locked in a room the rest of your life trying to make predictions. Kind of like Minority Report, right? They had the 3 psychics because they were all brothers and sisters, and they're all together, and they can predict murders before they happen. They are getting information from another dimension, which it's so cockamamie. Can it happen? And I know there are experiments and things to that effect that have shown this happens with electrons and other type of molecules. But what? There's protons, electrons, neutrons, and what else? Nucleus. That's it. Isn't that an atom? That's an atom. You got the nucleus, then you got a proton and an electron. Is there a neutron? What's a neutron? Neutronium? I just have a hard time believing in multiple universes because, well, I don't know. Because now we're getting into things that you would have to say something doesn't exist until you look at it. You know that shit? You know that experiment? It doesn't, the ball will go through and change into 2 or 4, but as soon as you look at it, it doesn't do it. It's like as soon as you're recording it or watching it, I think, it changes it. How does that happen? You know how it happens, right? Everybody says why does that happen? When you observe something, it changes it. You know why? Because you're there. Your energy, your body is energy. So of course it's going to change the little electron or positron. I'm messing around. You know what I mean. Does it change the atom's energy field because you're looking at it. Because as soon as you look at something and observe it, see, that's another weird thing. Because if you don't even have to be in the same room, if you observe it through a camera, it changes. See, that to me, I just can't wrap my head around something. That to me doesn't make sense. I think the only thing that would make sense is that the energy changes when you look at it. So it alters the whatever atom is in there that's doing the test. You know, I don't know this shit too well. I just spit out whatever comes into my mind, right? I know nothing. All right, let's finish. I kind of don't even want to finish this up. You guys get the idea. Let's get away from we don't exist. Because do you believe we exist? He does have one good point left. All right, let me play it.
Philosophically, this idea could lead to newer outlooks of nihilism and absurdism that may lead people to discuss the meaningful implications of decisions if every possible decision exists infinitely throughout the multiverse, making nothing unique, meaningful, or even significant in any possible way.
That's rude.
Last Thursdayism. Continuing this idea in regards to a thought experiment put forth originally as a joke, but now proven to be a legitimate point of debate, Last Thursdayism explores further the absurdist crisis in regards to the multiverse theory and its mathematics. It states that everything that currently exists in the universe and that the universe itself was merely created last Thursday. One could attempt to argue that there is inherent proof of time existing before this point, and that the universe has indeed been around a lot longer than that, but any evidence provided is not objective proof and is rather subjective interpretation. If you have a video recording of a time before last Thursday, one could argue that the device, the data and everything merely popped into existence to give the illusion of the universe having been around much longer than it actually has. This could be a counter-argument for any point raised against the philosophies of Last Thursdayism, which could include video evidence, sensitive measuring equipment, natural phenomenon, occurring actions, and even your own memories. What is all the more mind-blowing about this theory is that it mathematically works. Given the concepts provided in the multiverse theory of every universe of every possible variation popping into existence, it could very well be the case that our instance of space and time was merely created last Thursday, and any other evidence to argue against the fact could merely have been popped into existence as well. This concept ultimately argues that only the here and now is real, and that only you could ever know that you exist. This ultimately begs the question, is anything we have ever experienced actually real, or the product of a universe that just popped into existence last Thursday? Given the mind-blowing theories, we are quite certain that your mind is teeming with questions when it comes to the nature of ourselves and our universe. Be sure to share your answers and questions below in the comment section, and let us know what is racing through your mind. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to stick around to help grow our community and help us to work to solve these unexplained mysteries.
I forgot. I'm looking around while I'm listening, and I forgot I took the video off. I'm so out of my element because of the start tonight. I was looking at the chat room on Spreaker, and I forgot I took the video off people on YouTube. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'll get used to it eventually. It'll be like old hat. I've only done 2 of these shows. All right, so let's get on to the next subject, man. Let me get on to the next one. That's right, the Phobos monolith. We're going to talk about that. Let me pull up the video clip. And for those of you in Spreaker, oh, by the way, I am going to get a tablet tomorrow. I have a cell phone, but it's small, and, you know, I want another toy. Let's talk about Phobos real quick. The moon Phobos. I'm going to play a video here. Where is it? Here it is.
Megalithic structure.
It's this is the Phobos monolith, megalithic mystery in Mars orbit. It's a pretty good video, so let me get that set up. Here we go. Oh, by the way, oh yeah, I was just mentioning because Nathan said get maybe a cheap tablet, which I'm gonna. All right, let me pull up this, and we'll go to full screen. You'll hear the audio first.
Megalithic structures. It seems that no matter how ancient, whenever we find the remains of civilization on Earth, we find some sort of giant man-made structure whose purposes are often a mystery. From what is currently the oldest discovered megalithic site known to archaeology called Göbekli Tepe
GBT
to the Great Pyramids to Stonehenge, the purposes of these megaliths may be lost to time. If nothing else, they are fascinating time capsules. They are beacons that shine through the ages, delivering to us an ancient message from our distant ancestors. We were here. Human hands created this. Megalithic structures are such a great indicator of past civilizations, in fact, that they have caused quite a stir in a place that one might not expect them to be.
Isn't that see the left? The one on the left is on Mars, I think. And this is the one on right. I believe it's China, the keyhole. But this is amazing. See, that's a perfect match. Tell me that ain't. I mean, it doesn't get much closer than that.
Found. Space. The explosion of modern astronomy and space exploration has led to over half a century of important data from satellites and incredible high-definition images being taken of places in our solar system that we never expected we would see in such stunning clarity. Some of these images were so clear, in fact, that they revealed things that we were unable to explain. On Mars and its moon Phobos, we observed megalithic structures that appeared to have been created by intelligent life. This is the story of the Phobos monolith. Mars, our red planetary neighbor, has two moons, Deimos and Phobos, which were discovered on the 12th and 18th of August in 1877. Asaph Hall, the American astronomer who discovered them, named them after the Greek gods of fear, Phobos, and terror, Deimos. The names were uncanny, as over 100 years later, in 1989, Phobos would indeed be the subject of a controversy that led to a great deal of fear here on Earth. Another story for another time. However, their names made sense. In Greek mythology, Mars is known as Ares, the god of war. In the famous ancient Greek epic poem, the Iliad, Ares is said to have spawned fear and fright, Phobos and his brother Deimos. The origin of the twin moons of Mars is still shrouded in relative mystery. Astronomers have posited that they could have been captured asteroids as their density, mass spectrum composition, and albedo, a measurement of an object's solar radiation diffusion, are all consistent with main belt C and D type asteroids. However, to support the capture hypothesis, Mars would have to have a much denser atmosphere. And even though it is hypothesized that Mars once had a much denser atmosphere, the porous interior of Phobos would seem to discourage the idea that the moons of Mars were captured. It is more likely that the formation of these moons was similar to the formation of Earth's moon. At some point in the distant past of the solar system, Mars collided with another celestial body which was roughly 1/3 its mass. The object was destroyed and formed a debris ring around Mars that eventually led to the formation of 3 moons, the third and largest of which was too large to maintain in orbit and eventually crashed into the surface of Mars, leaving only Phobos and Deimos. It was only relatively recently in history that we were able to do real hands-on research on Mars, Phobos, and Deimos. 4 rovers have successfully landed on Mars, and 14 man-made satellites still orbit the red planet to this day. One such satellite is the Mars Global Surveyor. Launched in 1996, it took over 200,000 high-definition images of the surface of Mars, Phobos, and Deimos before contact with the satellite was lost in 2006. The Mars Global Surveyor is now a ghost satellite, floating without power in the orbit of Mars until 2047, when astronomers have predicted that it will fall out of orbit and crash to the Martian surface. Grieve not, however, for the MGS far exceeded its mission parameters. Originally intending to operate for just 2 Earth years, NASA extended the mission 3 times because it had such a high level of success. The satellite mapped the surface of the red planet, and it was the first to discover water ice there. However, Arguably the most ground-shaking images provided by the Mars Global Surveyor were not of the Martian surface, but of the surface of Phobos. In 1998, during one of its passes around Mars, the Mars Global Surveyor was to rotate 180 degrees in orbit so that it could take high-definition images of the Martian moon.
Look how cool that
The
is.
images were truly incredible, providing what are still to this day some of the most clear and visually stunning images ever taken of Phobos. However, the Mars Global Surveyor images of Phobos were far more than just visually beautiful. One of the images depicted something that no one expected to see, something that should not have been on the surface of Phobos, something potentially created by intelligent beings. The following is the first image ever captured of what is now known as the Phobos monolith. Roughly 85 meters across and almost 100 meters high, the monolith is a single upright column of rock protruding from the surface of Phobos. Located just outside of Stickney Crater, the giant crater iconic of Phobos, the monolith is visible in images from other satellites as well, such as these ones taken by the high-rise camera aboard the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. The monolith's estimated height puts it close to the size of the Great Pyramid. It is shaped like a triangular column, and appears to have extremely precise and symmetrical dimensions. But what is the monolith? How did it get there? Its shape and size would seem to suggest that it was constructed. But how is that possible? Is it more possible that the structure is some sort of natural phenomenon? Another monolithic rock, much smaller, approximately 5 meters in width, is found on the surface of Mars. Due to the nature of the internet, this image is frequently circulated as an image of the Phobos monolith.
See, it's not. It's the one on Mars. See, I mean, this is amazing to me. And you can see here on the bottom, it looks like they dug away, right? They shoveled away the moon rock and just slammed this sucker into the ground like they did on Earth with every other monolith you've seen, except, you know, usually they clear it away and it looks nice, but there's no atmosphere on Mars. And well, there is an atmosphere on Mars. It's 1/100th of, no, I'm sorry, what is it? 1/6 of Earth? Well, the atmosphere is like being at 100,000 feet in the air. Mars is very, 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 well, I don't know, man. I just think Mars is unique, and I think that the atmosphere is different in some places, and I think they don't tell us everything. But it's sad that we can't get close enough to read what's on here, if anything at all. That's pretty freaking amazing that it just stands out like that.
Adding to the thickening cloud of disinformation.
Reminds me of the Georgia Guidestones. You know, maybe they put one of these monoliths on every moon. You know, like aliens are just marking their territory, like Zich was here. Maybe Zich did this one. You know, who knows? It's been around for 1,200 years.
The subject. This rock does have an uncanny shape, reminiscent of alien megaliths from science fiction. However, it is almost definitely natural. Looking above the structure, there is a cliff which the rock assumedly broke from. Not all monoliths were constructed.
Seriously?
Mistakenly, some have hypothesized that this barely megalithic rock is an example of how the Phobos monolith could have naturally formed. Though obviously,
I mean, I understand a rock falling off a cliff, but to land perfectly straight up and... Oh, come on.
Obviously, there is no rock face on Phobos.
Now, this one on Phobos, this doesn't look like a monolith to me, but I guess it's got this weird shape to it, which almost like like a heart. It's huge, but these are big. You don't understand how tall this is. Listen, I think it's like 880 meters, right? No, it's like 1,000 feet high. Here, let me see. He tells us.
For its monolith to have broken away from to support this misconception. There are some plausible hypotheses put forth by astronomers to explain the monolith, but none have yet been confirmed. The best suggestion so far that astronomers and geologists have come up with is that the monolith could possibly be a piece of impact ejecta. Frequently, celestial bodies are bombarded by meteorites,
look at that.
asteroids, and other pieces of space debris, leaving behind impact craters. Sometimes these craters are simple. The force of the impact scoops out material from the planet's surface, melting small amounts of material but leaving behind an iconic bowl-shaped crater. However, if the object exceeds a certain size and velocity, the impact can be so great that it melts most of the material in the impact surface. Some of the melted material is ejected from the crater and sprayed outward, but most of it will stay in the impact site, and when it cools, it leaves behind something called a complex crater. Complex craters often have raised centers because the weak melted material in the center of the crater attempts to return to gravitational stability. Imagine dropping a single drop of water into a small filled glass. The wave created in the water will travel to the outer edges of the glass, displacing water from the center, and then the equilibrium of the system will return to the center. The central peaks in the complex craters are the result of this equilibrium returning to the center, pushing material together and upward, and then cooling. However, it isn't hard to see one large inconsistency in the suggestion that the Phobos monolith
Oh, I did
is an
it
impact
again!
crater. There is no basin surrounding the monolith. Similar structures have been found on Mars, but geologists don't know exactly what they are. They have speculated that these are in fact central peak impact craters which were buried and then re-exposed by erosion. However, no definitive conclusions have been reached. If the Phobos monolith is believed to be the peak of an impact crater, then it must have been buried in ejecta, possibly by dust transfer from Deimos, or by the formation of the Stickney crater. The area around the monolith is flat, and the craters found in the immediate vicinity show signs of very long periods of micrometeoroid erosion. In other words, these craters are very old. Many of the craters lie directly on top of what would have been the basin surrounding the monolith. This means that if the monolith was formed by an impact crater, it would since have been covered, and newer impacts would have formed newer craters on top of it. And then those craters would have since been eroded over extreme...
Okay, we get the point. Alright, good point in the chat room. Nathan on YouTube says, the video seems to support the it's a natural formation idea. They look constructed. It looks, I mean, if it looks like a duck, if it walks like a duck, it acts like a duck, it's a duck. But I don't think so. And I'm going to tell you something. The face on Mars, I don't think it's a face on Mars at all. I really don't. I think it's a natural formation. I do. I've always thought that. And I'm coming out and I'm telling you today that I think that it is not real. Not a real structure. Especially when they went by and did the high image definition video a couple of years ago, whatever. It makes sense. When Voyager went over there in 77, I believe it was, they were taking pictures without high def. You know, it wasn't perfect. Yes, it kind of looked like a face, of course, but we see that in a lot of things. Rocks, trees, clouds, the ocean. I mean, you could do it anywhere. And that's all I think that is. I don't think the face on Mars is a face on Mars. I'm sorry. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. And sorry about taking the video off there again. I did that by accident. But I definitely am not buying into that, like Nathan said, just because it looks like it doesn't mean it is it. And I think this video does do a very good job in supporting the idea. It's just a natural structure. Although the one on Mars does look like it was set up. I mean, it would have to be pretty coincidental that that rectangle is there just by falling off a mountain. I find that to be not plausible. If something is falling off of the cliff of a mountain and landing in an open space, what, you think it's just going to fall in like a dart on a dartboard? Like it's just going to sink into the ground? So I don't know about that. But I think it does make sense if there were civilizations on Mars, which I do. I believe there were civilizations on Mars. Absolutely. If it was 1 billion years ago, that's pretty amazing. And think about this. If the Earth was to all of a sudden be without humans, right? 1,000 years from now, if you ever watch those videos that they come up with, 1,000 years from now, it would be hard to see everything that we built. It would be covered. You'd see it. It wouldn't be hiding. But go 100,000 years. No way, Jose. You ain't finding shit. You would have to dig and look under a lot of stuff. And if you want to go even 1,000,000 years into the future, forget it. You ain't going to find a bunch of shit. You're not. You're not going to find a lot of buildings. I don't think you would find anything. Let's go 20 million years into the future. That's a long time. Yes, I still think you would find some things. You definitely would. But maybe you wouldn't be able to make it out, like Mars. Now, if you want to take Mars and Phobos and everything that's around that area and say, yes, there's a monolith on Mars, could it have stood 1 billion years into this ever-changing planet that has dust storms? Holy shit, it might even have rain, who knows? But supposedly, you know, 1 billion years is a long time. I don't think the planet is showing any signs of being like volcanic and active. Like, I don't know if there's plate tectonics happening on Mars. It's as if the engine of Mars just shut down. Because what keeps Earth going is the core. And the topsoil that we walk on and build on, I mean, that's just a top layer. Like, you could peel that away easily. I don't know. It's these monoliths, it would make sense if there were civilizations, you know, marking their territories, I guess. But that's our ego. Would that be the ego of another species doing that? Yeah, we were here. Let's put a monolith on Phobos and Mars and Earth and everywhere else. Because if you look at those monoliths, if you look at, now Göbekli Tepe, that was underground, right? They're digging all that stuff away. They got a long way to go. That stuff has been protected for about 20,000 years, they think. Right? 15 to 30,000 years? We were right out of the caves. To me, I find it hard to believe, but I don't know. It's crazy. And speaking of crazy, where are we? We're just quarter after the hour. I'm going to play a clip here and move into this. Let's go to the next topic. Is the Earth stealing or leaking water? Now, I'm going to play a video that's huge. You know who that is. Mr. MBB333. I believe that's his video. Let me pull it up while you sit there and wait for me. Let's see. Now, what do I mean? It is Mr. MBB333. Is the Earth's crust leaking water? Well,
in November,
there have been several in this year, even the end of last year. People would walk out to go fishing, and their boat is on dry land. I don't mean it got pushed up on dry land. I mean the water was sucked out of the bay. All over the world it's happening. There's rivers where all of a sudden there's no water in it. And then over time it'll slowly regenerate. But what is happening? Why is this happening? Why is this something new? We've never heard about it before until recently. Other than a tsunami. When a tsunami comes, in the ocean. That's different. The water retreats, goes away, and then it comes back in with a vengeance. 400 miles an hour. Yeah, that's not this. This is something different. And while we're here, I want to tell you, I think I figured out what the sky trumpets are. I think I figured it out. And I don't know if anybody else has said this, but what if the sky trumpets is this event? It's the earth opening up, being ripped open. You've seen the cracks. 4-mile long crack in Arizona, several hundred feet wide, happening in China and Japan and in Brazil, Mexico, South America, Africa. It's happening all over the world. It's as if the earth is being stretched out. It's as if the earth is being pulled by something with a huge gravitational force. Huge. That's Mr. MBB333. Everything name is huge. And I enjoy his videos. So I'm going to play this. He does a great job of explaining what could be happening. But it's about 15 minutes long. So I am not going to play the whole thing because he repeats himself at the end. So we'll go through about eight minutes of this. Here we go. I'll get the screen up. I won't forget.
Saturday, November 17th, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 2018. Guys, before we get started in this video, make sure you check the subscribe button here at the YouTube channel. It's a two-step process. If you're a new, I've had several people say that they were unsubscribed for whatever reasons, and you know, I've had that happen. Make sure you're still... Guys, remember back last year, and we haven't concluded this study. We've been following it for many months. It's just kind of slowed down, at least for the time being. We haven't seen many pictures of this phenomenon. And what I'm talking about are global water anomalies. You can see here I've placed little X's on the map all around the world of different observations made by people that have seen what they consider out of the ordinary water disappearances from typically coastlines. And you can see a lot of activity along the east coast of the U.S. up to Newfoundland, down into the Caribbean, where I got a report from the Belize area, a boat captain that's been out on these waters his entire life. I'm talking about in the Caribbean. And he's seen strange water currents in the seas out there that he can't explain and has never seen before. Extend from South Africa to India to Denmark, over to San Diego, Ecuador, several instances through here. Like I said, the Bahamas and the East Coast, but probably other areas too that we just haven't heard of. We did get a lot of pictures from different people all around the world of water disappearing, and the reason that they took these pictures is because it was unusual. It was something that they're just not used to seeing. The remains of a ancient Roman aqueduct was uncovered in Spain after a tropical storm. And the storm, which really wasn't that strong, was blamed for pulling the water away from the coast and exposing this 2,000-year-old ancient Roman aqueduct system, which, okay, I suppose that's possible, but again, it wasn't a very strong storm, and it was another example of water disappearing from the coastline, like you see here over in Thailand. People were out walking around looking for things that they had never seen before. That's why they were out here walking around taking pictures in this area right here, because the water disappeared in a fashion like they'd never seen before. Yeah, they've seen low tide and high tide. That's part of their day-to-day life. But when the water disappeared like that, they were completely thrown off. It was just way too much. So we got to following this phenomenon, and this is a photo from the Connecticut area. Gentleman noticed that the low tide was just way too low. And he's pointing to where it normally is. Here's another picture from, I want to say this is down around, I'm not exactly sure, but this is from Florida, taken by Brian. Here's another picture from Florida by Brian in Navarre, and the reason he took the picture is because he'd never seen it like this before, and he's lived here for over 25 years. Walked out into what's normally water almost 100 yards. Completely disappeared. And he was very mystified by that. Another gentleman took a picture. I think this was in the New York area, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the Carolinas, somewhere out east. As I showed you on that map earlier, there were several observances in the eastern, or along the eastern seaboard, like this one here. I think this is from the Carolinas, one of the Carolinas, south or north. Boats, that's a sailboat tipped over on its side, which was sitting in water that quickly disappeared. This was something we were following for a while. The Mississippi River was showing a side of itself that we had never seen before, and the locals that live here were taking pictures of this because they'd never seen this happen before. They'd seen low rivers, of course, but nothing like this. This was just a little too much. This isn't the Mississippi. This is somewhere in the Carolinas, I want to say. I'm just showing you guys some examples to kind of refresh your mind. Those of you that do remember this, this is the Mississippi River again. In fact, there was concerns about barges even getting through here. And this,
how can the Mississippi River just all of a sudden dry up? I'm sorry. This is just bizarre. It doesn't make any sense. I'm telling you, it doesn't. Something's wrong with this picture. How does that happen? Where does the water go? It'll eventually come back after a week. But look at, I mean, it's dry up here. It's as if it's been a day or two without water, but it was eventually coming back. It's back. But we're talking about the Mississippi River. This isn't a little tiny rinky-dink wash when it, you know, rains and it floods. It's not one of that. This is the Mississippi River. It just blows me away. I don't understand. Where is the water going? There was a guy who had a video. I don't remember where it was. It may have been Arkansas.
Hey, brother, watch it.
I'm sorry, not you. But he started videotaping a whirlpool, and I understand that the water has been here for years, eons, right? And if it's limestone underground, it is very porous. And I understand, you know, water is going to eat it away over time. And eventually, what happens? You have a sinkhole. So is it sinkholes? Is that all this is about? Sinkholes that are filling up the caverns underneath the ground? But wait till you hear his explanation. You wouldn't think of it.
area, they couldn't, you know, and this is a main thoroughfare for the international grain market, the Mississippi River. So that definitely needs water. This was in the Ecuador area.
It needs water, he says. That's
water
Ecuador.
Retreated way farther than they're normally used to seeing. Another classic example here. People out there walking around in areas that normally would require boats or some sort of marine vehicle.
Hawaii?
Another example here. Got many examples. We did many videos on this phenomenon.
Just crazy.
Still follow the phenomenon. It just seems to have slowed down a little bit. We're not getting...
Now, if the event has slowed down worldwide, what does that tell you? I'm going to tell you what it tells me. Think about it. Why would this happen all over the world this year? And, you know, every week it was some other place. All right, I'm going to tell you. So there's possibilities that, not Nibiru, but there's some planet or some sort of something way out there, far away out in our solar system that possibly, oh my God, I can't believe that pop-up just made that noise. If that happens again, I'm losing it. And if it got close, and I said this years ago, if Nibiru was close, like people were, you know, they take these photographs of the sun at sunset and sunrise and they see two suns. And I'm like, idiot. It's not two suns. It's just the way your camera works, idiot. And because it's at sunset, it's just given the effect and illusion that there's two suns or another planet hiding behind the sun, which it isn't. But there is something out there, and what if that's something? And they haven't detected it. They detected its gravitational effect it's having on the area. And they believe, I think it's 5 times to 7 times bigger than the Earth, maybe 10 times bigger. I think I'm right about that. But the gravitational effect it would have on our solar system could create a planetary rip, like these other planets, when these other moons that are around Jupiter expand and contract, and they propel the ice particles out into, into space 200 miles up. And then when it goes away from the planet, it goes back to its normal shape, and they get stretched and yanked on and ripped open. And that may be what's happening here. Maybe something is getting closer, or was close enough that it had this effect on our planet. So if it did have an effect on our planet, then it should throw it out of its orbit, I would think, and also the moon, right? But that didn't happen. So I'm trying to think, what else could this be? Could it be that there's magma under the ground that's just roaming around, and that's why we're having the earthquakes, and it's causing a displacement with the plates and everything? And Africa has this huge crack, and they're actually saying this is the beginning of how Africa is going to split, because Africa is going to split eventually, and this huge crack formed. But I don't know, man. I don't know if this is the cause of this or what, but this is weird. And if it's slowed down, maybe that gravitational pull from planet whatever is moving away from us, and it's not pulling or ripping the Earth apart. I don't know.
Hardly any pictures like we were there for a while. We were getting daily reports, it seemed like, of this unusual phenomenon. Well, there's a story that came out a couple of days ago, and this is something that I've been thinking about too for a while, but it's a complex subject. There's water all over the globe. There could be a variety of reasons that this phenomenon is occurring, and I'm leaning towards this one here that just came out in an article. Well, in fact, it came out in several articles since the 15th or the 14th, and it originated from Washington University in St. Louis, and there's articles now talking about this particular story. The Earth is eating its own oceans.
This is crazy.
That's dated the 14th. This is from popularmechanics.com, dated the 15th. Earth's crust is swallowing way more ocean than we thought originally. It originated from the source, Washington University, dated the 14th of November. Seismic study reveals huge amount of water dragged into Earth's interior. And I got to reading this, and I'm like, you know what? That makes sense. If water is leaking down into the Earth, then that would explain, possibly, some of these coastal water anomalies that we're seeing. For whatever reasons in these areas, if water is leaking down into the Earth at an excessive rate, then water would disappear from coastlines. And it always slowly comes back. But what's causing this? For instance, the Mariana Trench. That's one area that they've studied, and they do have an understanding that water does enter the Earth's crust near the Mariana Trench in certain areas. And it makes you wonder, just how big is this, basically an ocean under the ocean? If you look at the Earth is not waterproof, on its surface. We have oceans.
Oh, I got to stop for a second. I don't know if you saw that on camera. Holy shit, that scared the balls off of me. The sign, and I don't know how it fell. I mean, I guess it... I have this tape that is so sticky that it rips the paint off the friggin' walls if I'm not careful. And I had this taped up with two pieces And I just heard it rip off the wall behind me as I'm sitting here. Like, it sounded like it ripped off. Now, I'm touching it. Look at this. I'm using my fingers on the back. That's the back of the plate. It's very sticky. That's one finger. I mean, this is amazing that it would even fall off the wall like that. I don't know, man. Yeah, you know what? The Ouija board's right underneath it. I didn't even think of that. Isn't that crazy? And this was taped to the Cardinals one that's up there. Like, I had these touching each other. You know, why didn't it pull down the Cardinals? You know what I mean? I had them touching. And I had the tape. I don't know, guys. Anyway, I'm going to get back to that. I'll have to look at the video. I kind of got goosebumps, man. It freaked me out because I heard the tape ripping. But I thought it was my dog, like, rubbing up on something, and then I heard it. I'll just put this over here. That was weird. Well, so much for showmanship. Oh well. All right, back to the video. Man, that was creeping me out. You guys already know about that, right? I posted it on Facebook, what happened. All right, let me get the video back up for you. Sorry about that. So he was just talking about how the water could be getting sucked in. Is the earth eating our oceans?
That occupy 70% of the planet. Is that just excess water that doesn't fit inside the planet? And there's an entire ocean system underneath the surface, and the water that we see is water that's excessive. Or is water coming out from inside the ocean, underneath the ocean? And that's why we're seeing different coastal phenomenons. It's coming out and then retreating back in for whatever reasons, taking more water with it. And we'll see these areas that have water retreats. And that's what we used to call them too. Water would retreat, disappear, and people would be out taking pictures of these areas that they'd never seen dry before. Down here in Belize, this boat captain was seeing unusual currents out in the Caribbean Sea that he's not used to seeing. Well, if the Earth's crust is leaking water, if water, say, was going through the crust in this area here, that would create some sort of a, unusual current at the surface level that this man would see. And we did see water anomalies along the coast. Very low center of gravity for ships, especially big ships. So look at the Earth.
He's talking that the Earth may be a ballast tank. A ballast tank is what is used in submarines. They fill up the ballast tank with water and it goes down. It keeps the submarine stable, and then when they get rid of the water in the ballast tank, the submarine rises. But if that happens with the Earth and there's an actual ocean under the ocean, he's saying that it could possibly help keep the center of gravity more consistent and keep the planet in orbit and all this stuff. I mean, it's a really crazy idea to think that the Earth has a ballast tank or acts like one. But wouldn't we have seen that if we ever drilled into the Earth, which we have? Wouldn't they have hit water in another ocean? I don't know.
Earth as having a ballast tank, and that would be the ocean under the ocean. And that ocean would create, a gravitational pull on the surface water and keep it circulating around the planet and things like that. Europa, this moon here, has a subsurface ocean. So does Ganymede, a subsurface ocean. So I think Earth has a subsurface ocean as well. I think that's what's caused these water anomalies that we've been seeing, or we saw several last year, especially during the last half of 2017. And I think for whatever reasons, water is leaking, especially at tectonic zones where tectonic plates meet. Water is being pulled down into the earth at these tectonic regions, and it's being released in other areas, or slowly coming back to the area that saw the extreme water anomaly. Mariana Trench, you know, it's a very deep, what is it, 11,000 meters they went down to, I think, or got very close to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. That's an area where water enters the earth, from what I understand. So an ocean under the ocean is certainly not far-fetched, and the surface water that we see could be extra water that simply won't fit, you know, and then sometimes for whatever reasons at tectonic boundaries, the water is pulled in. Here's an interesting theory that, you know, could possibly explain the Great Flood. It's just a theory, guys, but let's say, for instance, that the original flood came up from the center of the earth, then receded back into the planet. The ocean that is underneath the ocean is what caused the original flood, possibly. It drained back in, and all was good for a while. There is not enough water on the surface of the planet to completely submerge all of the planet at once. The extra water came from below the crust, the ocean under the ocean.
I don't know, guys. It's a stretch, but something's going on. Nobody knows why. People don't know. So every theory is being placed out there on what is happening with the water all over the world. And I don't know. Things have seemed to have slowed down, but it's an interesting phenomenon. So let's get to the next topic here. How about let's do this one. Proof the moon is not 238,000 miles from Earth. What do you say we do one on that? Let me pull it up. Very interesting theories, very interesting things that people think of. I mean, it's not this guy, but stop it. God. The dog's like almost totally deaf now. He didn't even hear me say that. He just saw me turn around. Didn't even see me. He's blind too. It's time for his poop sessions. All right, let me get this moon. Oh, where to go? Come on, Richie. I just had it here. The moon. Where's the moon? Moon. Oh, here's a video of a UFO leaving the moon from a crater. B. Baker posted this. Oh, I found the other video. Let me play this first. The moon blows me away. Check it out. This is one of the best UFO videos I've ever seen. It is definitely leaving this crater. Check it out. Definitely. There's no way this object is... Look at that thing. That came right out of there. Watch this. They do it in slow motion, I believe. You can even see... Check it out. I think it's this one. Yep. Right around here. You can't see it, but then you see it as it gets the sunlight on it, and it gets brighter and brighter. I mean, it's crazy. Here it is, right there. Now it's going to hit the sun, and it's bright. That's legit. I don't know. I mean, that, to me, that's crazy. That is such a crazy video. That is just... These craters, by the way, there is a maximum depth that the craters go to. Let's say it's 100 feet deep. There isn't one crater that can go more than 100 feet. I'm just giving you a number. Let's say 1,000 feet deep. Nothing can go deeper than 1,000 feet. So they think this topsoil was put there, and the moon is a spaceship. And the moon is covered by all this moon dust and rock, and underneath it is an incredible metallic spheroid of something, like the Death Star. I don't know, man. There's definitely activity on the moon. I definitely believe it 100%. All right, I'm going to play that the moon is not 200. Now, this is coming from someone who's got just crazy mind. I don't think they see things like you and me. But it's Richie from Boston, and I like Richie from Boston. I told him I'm Richie from AZ. I'm Richie G from AZ. So, this is crazy. I don't know if you guys ever noticed this, but he talks about this. All right, I'm not going to ruin it here. All right.
We are on the verge of about 50,000 subscribers. I've been on YouTube for 6 years. A while I'd go outside to smoke a cigarette and I would look up and I would see this.
These are great
Now, it
chemtrails.
really didn't dawn on me necessarily what I was seeing, but I've always been into space since I was 9 years old, which is 40 years, you know what I'm saying? And I started looking into it a little bit, and I started posting videos, probably about...
Nothing better than pointing your camera and technology right at the sun to ruin your frickin' equipment, dill hole.
About 3-4 years ago, about chemtrails. I would tell my family about it, I would point to them, and they would just laugh and go, oh, come on, that's nothing. Well, as you can see, this is clearly nothing. This started about 30 minutes ago, and this is the result. It's big, thick, and long-lasting. These things don't go anywhere. This
Come on,
is
you're
not
going to tell me that's a
coming out
contrail?
of a Pratt & Whitney or a Rolls-Royce engine, not Pratt & Whitney.
You're going to tell me that's a contrail? Look at the way they're cutting into each other.
Go, and this is the result.
Sorry, man. I ain't buying. That's just a regular contrail, brother. What's the purpose of making this X in the sky? Well, that's where they have to lay out the other chemtrails. See, what we don't know is there's an X here, and more than likely, there's another one here, another one up here, another one down there. They usually come with 4. People don't know that. So they spray these very far apart, and they're supposed to stay within the boundaries of the 4 X's. Sometimes you'll only see 2. A lot of times you'll see one that's right close to you because you're on the boundary. But trust me, there's usually 2 to 4. Chemtrails are very strange, and I'm not here to do a chemtrail show. Maybe tomorrow. Thursday.
It's big, thick, and long-lasting. These things don't go anywhere. This is not condensation coming out of a Pratt & Whitney or a Rolls-Royce engine. None whatsoever. And if you look up NASA's information, the Appleman chart is what it's called. It explains to you the heights and conditions required for a plane to even leave a condensation trail behind it. And we're seeing this every single solitary day. So the Appleman chart is basically out the window. For those that don't know, they're spraying us. They're going to start arguing with them in front of everybody. Of course you wouldn't, because that would make you look insane. It just doesn't make any sense. You can't argue with them and win, correct? So there's that. Now on to this. See this video that I'm taking right now? I'm clearly, in the daytime, I'm zooming in on the moon. Let's watch this again. In the daylight, I'm zooming right in on the moon. No problem with a Nikon P900. And I can zoom even further than that, and I believe I will. There it is. You can literally see what looks to be stars shining right through it.
Oh my God.
Now let's take a look.
I don't understand people, guys. I mean, this guy usually has a good critical thinking mind, but there are some things he believes in, and I'm like, dude, you're not seeing stars through the freaking moon. You're seeing a highly reflective moon surface or rock shining back at you. How could he not know that?
Look at this. This is going to be a little comparison. Right over here is the Boston skyline. See it?
No.
And right there is the Prudential building, which if you Google it, from my house to the Prudential, it's 4.7 miles away as the crow flies. Not too far, right? I could probably fly the drone over there, but I might lose it, so I don't. At any rate, plus there's an airport right here. Yeah, I grew up next to the airport watching Logan dump all day long. This never happened in my first 30 years of life. It's all pretty new. At any rate, let's watch me zoom in on the Prudential building, shall we? This is going to be a test. Prove that the moon is nowhere near 234,000 miles away.
Oh my
Watch.
God! Oh my God! Watch this. This is his test.
I got the tripod up. I've got the Prudential right in my sights, and here I go. I'm zooming in. That's the Prudential building. See it? Let me adjust the tripod for a second, because as you zoom, it goes up. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Prudential building. You can almost read it because it says Prudential right there. And there you go.
That's a
My
good
camera
camera.
is totally maxed out. I apologize for the shakiness, but when you're zoomed out 2,000 millimeters, the camera gets shaky.
That's a good camera.
That is as far as I can zoom out with a Nikon P900 to an object that I know the distance, 4.7 miles away as the crow flies.
Oh,
Now let's watch me zoom in on the moon. That's 200 plus 1,000 miles away, and I'm trying to videotape the moon through an incredibly heavy atmosphere that they're spraying right in front of my eyes. We've already seen that, right? Okay, now I just turned the camera up, nothing more. I'm still standing on the same balcony. It's still the same incredibly chemtrail day. There's the moon right there, 200 plus 1,000 miles away. Let's zoom in. Here we go, and as I'm doing it, there's another plane right there, aerosol spraying, but that's not today's subject, really.
That's what I
Okay,
said.
here it comes. Here it comes. All right, I must be maxed out, right? Nope, not at all. Here we go. Here we go through it. Now, remember, they are spraying like it's their job, and they're supposed to be doing it. Look how far I can zoom in on the moon. I can see those lights right there in that crater.
All right. First of all, this guy needs a class in photography. I know, B. Baker, you're going to rip this guy a new asshole, and so am I. Here's the difference, guys. When you have a moon that's, what, 3,400 miles across, right? 3,400 or something miles across. You got a building that's 200 feet, maybe let's say 300 feet across or wide. 300 feet or 3,000 miles. And he's trying to tell us that the moon is showing up as clear as it was showing up on a 4-mile away building. First of all, he doesn't have the whole moon. He can only fit a portion of it when he zooms in. When he zoomed in on the building, he basically just fit the building inside the lens. But he's only getting a third of the moon when he zoomed in. This guy doesn't understand distances. When you have something this big in the sky, it's going to show up like a building that's only a couple hundred feet wide. This is the dumbness of people. Either he's really stupid, dumber than I think, or he's smart. But look at all the views. 1.5 million views on this, guys. The guy has a following. You know what I mean? People are listening. Now, he disabled the comments for a very good reason, because I'm sure people were teaching him how photography works. You know? But I forget how many subscribers. He's got 274,000 subscribers. So he's reaching an audience and giving them bad information. And here I am with 37 subscribers telling you the truth. How does this pan out? I don't understand the reality. I got to do something to let people know I'm here, to teach them what's really going on in reality. This is the dumb. Let's hear him finish out why.
I can see all these speckles right here on it.
Speckles.
I mean, are you kidding me? And as far as I can zoom in on the Prudential building is so I can almost read the letters.
Yeah, so the moon's 4 miles away, guys.
Yeah, 4.7 miles away.
Idiot.
And I might even Google Earth it and try to prove it. Hold on.
Oh, my God.
Okay, this isn't my exact address, but it's right near my house right here.
All right, we get it.
Am I?
It's 4.7 miles away.
I might be following. Zoom in more on the moon than I can on a building that I can see with my naked eye.
Dude, the moon is 3,000 plus miles across. Idiot. Over here, check this out. Somebody says the moon is only 70 miles wide. 70 miles wide. It's a 20-minute video. I'm not going to play it. But it's making me angry. Anyway, that's that. It's so silly. So let's keep the silly going, shall we? All right. So how about this? Sun simulator and new floating plane videos. Don't be scared. Now, I've talked about these and played clips, but I've never showed you the videos. So let me pull some up. And for those of you who never had the time or the care to look into this, let me show you some interesting videos here. And this is going to be cool. First thing we'll do is the glitch in the Matrix. Plane suspended in the air. Now, this is one video. I'm not sure if this is the right one, but you'll see.
With planes frozen in the air, but...
Hold on. Why can't I get... Oh, I see. Hold on. I got to pull this up the right way. Here we go. Full camera.
Been many videos with planes frozen in the air, but this video with a plane over a bridge is the most impressive and raises most of questions. Welcome again to Hoverplane Analyst. Here strange videos are checked and analyzed. The original clip is just less than 6 seconds short, and the author has added 2 slow motion versions so he could upload at least 39 seconds.
Well, now, when I first looked at this video, I thought this light post was connected to the airplane and it was just a model. You know what I mean? Like, it was a just a model of an airplane to show you that the airport's close. But you'll see when they pass by it, it is not connected, and the plane is... Now, if that plane is going in for a landing at this size airplane, it would be doing over 200 miles an hour, about anywhere between 180 and 220, depending on the plane size. For a you know, a public plane with, you know, more than 180 people. So if this car was doing, let's say, 50 miles an hour heading this way, towards the plane, and the plane is flying over this way where it's heading, that plane would go zip right over him, because the combined, if it was 200 miles an hour and he's doing 50, that's a combined 250 miles an hour. That plane would be past him in a second. That's not what happens.
The author suspects an illusion due to speed and wind. He could not explain it exactly. But his companion, who actually discovered the plane, could not remember it later, so he calls it glitch in the matrix. Thanks to X-Team from France for conceding Google coordinates from this bridge. It is near Seattle in the northwestern United States. The plane has deployed the landing gear and may be going to land or just take off, and very close by is the Seattle International Airport and also a runway from a Boeing company site. These are the corresponding positions in the video clip and in Google Maps before and after the bridge. I guess the car covered about 120 meters or 400 feet in those 5 seconds. And that translates into a speed of about 86 km an hour, which is 54 miles per hour. Maybe it was faster, but as I said, in this rough estimate, everything is possible from 70 to 110 kilometers an hour or 45 to 70 miles per hour. By the time when you see the plane out of the car for the first time, it may be about 70 meters or 230 feet away. This is how we imagine it. At the red dot is the lamppost, view from in front of the bridge, and then the car passes under the bridge, we look back and we can see again the plane that is still in the same place. At first glance, one might think the plane is sticking to the lamppost, but from the other side of the bridge, it's a bit off the lantern. The question is, does the plane really fly so low that it can scratch right on the lamppost? And is it just 10 meters or 33 feet above a public road? So, how tall can a lamppost be? In the city, perhaps 3 to 6 meters or 10 to 20 feet, but there they are much denser and are not necessarily bent over the street. In any case, a truck with about 4 meters height, 13 feet, must be able to drive through it well. Such a mast should be 10 meters or 33 feet high. I have read there are also some ones 12 meters or 40 feet high. If the lamppost is about 10 meters or 33 feet high, then the plane would have to be 10 meters or 33 feet long. Could that be possible? Unfortunately, I do not know much about such aircrafts. I can only see that it is a twin-engine aircraft. That could be an A320, for example, and you can find all the technical data in Wikipedia, especially the length. Of course, this could just as well be an A330 or A350 or even a Boeing 737. The other machines are 3 or 4 engine. I have combined in a list the possible lengths. The first 2 types vary between 29 and 45 meters. As a mean value, I take now just 35 meters. And only if it is an Airbus A330 or 350, there would be a huge error, because they would be 70 meters long. In feet, the first 2 types are 94 to 146 feet. The mean value may be some 120 feet, and an Airbus A330 and 350 are some 220 feet long. So, a 35-meter long plane that looks exactly like a 10-meter high street lamp. This is a 120 feet long plane looking like a 33 feet lamp. It would have to stop in the mid-air and shrink at the same time. That would really be too much now. That's what the plane should look like, but it does not. If I aim the camera at the bridge and the plane is too small, it must be further away. It has to be so far away that it is in the correct size proportions within my normal camera aperture angle of 50 degrees. And as it is 3.5 times too small, it must now be 3.5 times further away. That looks like this. And after the car has passed under the bridge, the same situation again. Again, the plane must be 3.5 times further away. And if we look at these 2 pictures together, Then, while the car has passed under the bridge, the plane has flown about 2.5 times that distance. It's the same principle and the same effect that I described in my first video, Planes Stopping in Mid-Air, The Truth About It, and that I will describe in another video, Principle of Planes Stopping in Mid-Air. While the car is moving and the camera is constantly panning for the plane, there is a fixed point between the car and the plane. In our example video, this would now be the lamppost on the bridge, and the angular movement of the camera will cause every single point of the camera image, which lies behind this fixed point, to change its apparent movement. With a suitable distance of the plane, this change is such that the two movements, namely the forward flight of the plane and the angular rotation of the camera, cancel each other out. The peculiarity in this video is that the aircraft is not visible while driving under the bridge, and these lines of sight are just not visible, but the effect takes place both in front of the bridge and after the bridge. The conditions for this parallax effect are always the following. From the car, an oncoming plane is filmed. This means the camera is moved in the car, the camera is turned to the plane, and the plane flies in the opposite direction. At the beginning, I estimated the speed of the car to be about 86 km per hour or 54 miles per hour. From this we can now estimate the speed of the aircraft. Because it is 3.5 times as far away as the street lamp, which is the fixed point, it is 2.5 times as far from the fixed point as the car, and it has to fly 2.5 times as fast. This results in 216 kilometers per hour or 136 miles per hour.
Okay, it's kind of hard to argue with what he's saying, but I didn't think a plane that size would only be landing at 136 miles an hour, but I guess it's possible. So if we go back to the beginning of the video where we see the airplane and the camera, right? Let's go to the very beginning.
Frozen in the air, but this video with a plane over.
And let's see if we can get the actual video here. That plane is not moving. Does that look like it's moving to you? No. It doesn't. It just looks like the guy passed over it. Right? Am I wrong? I mean, that doesn't make sense what I'm seeing. I understand the analysis. And because the plane is, I mean, does that plane look like... There was another video where a guy did an analysis and said the plane was 2 miles away. That doesn't look 2 miles away to me. You know? I don't know. I have a hard time with this. I understand. I mean, I'm a pretty smart guy, but I know I can be tricked. But if he's going towards it at 55 miles an hour and the plane is coming at him at 136, that's 190 miles an hour. I'm telling you, that plane does not leave that post. Watch. It stays on it the whole time, even when he passes it. And I understand what he's saying. But I have a hard time with it. To me, it looks like it's definitely stuck in that position. His analysis, see, you know how far 2 miles is? Imagine this plane being 2.5 times further away. I'm telling you, it does not leave. It should be passing. It should be going. because it's going 2.5 times faster. Something's wrong. I don't think I don't know. It's just that we have so many videos of people in the freaking airplanes telling us that the plane stopped moving. We're not moving. People have been flying for years. Let me find this one video, and I'm going to show you something. I talked about it before. Planes floating in midair. There's this one that it's unbelievable. And I'm going to find it. I hope I find it. Because yeah, I think this is it. Here it is. Watch this. That plane ain't moving. That plane is not moving. The guy's standing on a corner with other people. Now, they don't hear the airplane. It stopped. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you can hear the plane's engines come into start going off. That plane's not moving.
Sir.
And you can see the guy hasn't taken a step. Now, you can make a visual fake. Like I've done it before where I've taped airplanes and then I moved to the left so it would keep them from entering this. But I'd be walking down the street. This guy doesn't move. He even tells you, oh, I haven't moved. I've been standing here. Then all of a sudden the plane, you can hear it, and then it starts to move. And other people are with him. Like, oh, yeah. He hasn't moved. It looks like it's going backwards.
Claro. Totalmente quieta. Parece un helicóptero. Entiende un helicóptero. No, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué tal de que se vaya en pica?
How is this possible?
Mire.
You hear it now, you can hear it. Now you can hear it. There it goes. See, guys? See? Now it's moving again. Slowly, but you can see it. How is this possible?
Sir.
Okay. I'll play it again.
Sir, take the airplane.
The plane's actually going backwards. He just said, I haven't moved. I've been standing here. You can see this is moving. It's blowing in the wind. But you can't even hear the plane. You'll hear the plane when you get right around here.
Parece un helicóptero. Entiende un helicóptero. No, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué tal de que se vaya en pica?
There it goes. You can hear it now.
Óigalo.
That's why he zoomed in, because he heard it.
¿Qué era eso?
It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. That does not make sense. Okay? How is that possible? I want somebody to explain that to me because I don't get it. Let me open up my chat room here on the phone. See if you guys notice anything. I mean, tell me that ain't weird. It doesn't make sense. Nope, it's not fake. It's legit. This is real. It's not a fake. Yep. I'm not sure. I don't think it was edited, bud. I don't think it was edited at all. It's not. Now, he was moving the whole time. He couldn't have paused it. You can't pause a camera and have the audio going at the same time. It would have to be pretty... You'd have to be really good at doing... I mean, the sound and everything matches. I understand what you're saying, but he's moving the whole time. This video, it's only a minute and a half. I'll play it again. There's no pause. Unless the... And there's people with him. There's 4 other people watching, and he's in a walkway. There's another video about the explanation. I just picked this one because I knew it. I found it real quick. But the whole video moves the whole time.
Está quieta. Está quieta. Mírenla, miren esa avioneta.
It's not
Yo
fake.
no sé. Está planeando.
I'm telling you, it ain't. It's actually going backwards. So my thing was, look how far away this is from here. This eventually gets right over here. You can see it's going back. So my thought was, well, maybe he's walking and he's tricking us. But you can't hear the airplane. And then all of a sudden, right around here, you can hear it. And he says, oh, you can hear it. You know, it's windy. Let me find another one of these videos. There, now it turns on. Now you can hear it. I don't know, guys. I know we want to say that you know, it's some sort of trick, but I don't think so. I know what makes sense is that it's a trick, but it's not. Let me pull this one. Oh, here's a video. It says, oh, this guy makes a plane float. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, let me pull up this one. There's one where people are on a plane and videotape for 12 minutes, United Airlines, that the airplane stopped. It really did. Oh, all right, let's take a look at this one. This is Tim Walker. I believe...
All right, today it's pretty windy. And something I've been wanting to do for a while is see if I can get this little 150 to hover or fly backwards.
What?
So I'm going to pull up the winds aloft. Go ahead and climb up to about 6,000 and...
Oh, this is cool. This guy's, I've never seen this. He's actually going to try to see if he can create the effect.
I have a lot of area to land in. Get it to best glide. We're going to see if my ground speed slows down at all. We need to figure out which way the wind's coming out of.
Traffic is at 520 is departing the area to the west. You have a great day.
Okay. 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 So now my airspeed is still 95 miles an hour, but my ground speed is only 50. That's like what? Gotta be like 50 knot difference. It'd be probably pretty good to bring it into slow flight. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna prepare for slow flight. We're gonna see if we get this thing down to a hover. Start by bringing carpet on, making a power reduction.
Wayne County traffic.
Go ahead and start feeding in flaps.
Departing runway.
Wow, okay. Airspeed's down to about 55. Ground speed is 20 knots right now. You can look out the window. I'm going over the ground at about 25 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour. See if I turn a little bit more right, see what happens. Get it slowed down a little bit more. Now we're about 25 knots. This thing stalls at about 39 miles an hour, so we'll just slow it down a little bit more and see what happens. Still at 20 knots. Look out the window.
Oh, let me... B. Baker, the sign on the airplane, it does move. The whole time it's waving in the wind on that one airplane. It's waving in the wind on the previous video I played. That's one thing I made sure of first, was that was moving the whole time, and it was. It's very slow, but it does move the whole time. It's windy. It's a windy day. That's what this guy's trying to do. I don't think he's going to be successful, though.
Where are you? I think I'm going to turn it around here real quick. Oh, it's hazy back there, so we're going to bring it back.
Take that back. You're right in front of me.
This thing's so small, I thought I might be able to do it today. It was pretty windy on the ground. I think it was gusting to like...
So he can't do it. He tried to make the plane hover. I appreciate the effort. It didn't work. There's better videos here. Hold on, let me pull it up. There's, I want to get this one. The analysis that guy did was pretty good. Now, if you want to see, nah, I'm not going to even bother. There's a guy, this video right here. This guy is making the plane stop in midair. Exactly by what I said. Going against it. Stopping planes revealed, airplane floating, stopping in mid-flight. These are people just where planes are far away and they're making them, you know, seem like they're stopping in midair, but they're not. Let's see, I've never seen this one. God, I'm embarrassed already. I'm already embarrassed. That plane is so far away. You can make that plane look like it's doing whatever you want. Oh my God, look at this. She thinks she's really videotaping a plane floating.
Here we have a slow jumbo jet coming at us, you guys.
That is the worst video I've ever seen.
Am I driving in this one? Is that plane even moving?
Oh my God.
Like, seriously. It's like not. Fuck. That I can't get in on it. Fuck. It's not moving. Yeah. It's not moving.
Shit, it's not moving. Not moving.
Fuck.
We're seeing
I'm not
it.
kidding, you guys.
Oh my God, it's not.
That was not moving.
That is not moving.
Shit, it's in the same fucking spot.
Holy what? Oh my God, I just got
You just got to see it.
Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I can't. I can't.
In spot.
All right, it didn't stop. If it was in the same place for 3 minutes, everybody listening, wouldn't you stop your car, get out, and videotape it? Right? Wouldn't you do that? Right? Wouldn't you do that? Let's see what these are about. Oh, this is the Mandela effect. I don't give a shit. I don't believe the Mandela effect in any way, shape, or form. I can't find the video I want to find, but pretty interesting. This might be it. Yeah, this might be it.
So here's some very interesting planes that are hovering that you might enjoy seeing what's going on here.
Well, that plane was moving, so I'm not sure what they're talking about. See, what you have is people who don't understand distance. This comes to no education. These are people who definitely don't have critical thinking skills to believe that a plane wouldn't hover like that. Now, I know I was freaking out over that one Mexico video with the guy pulling the sign. I can't explain that one. There's got to be an explanation for it, though.
While passing over Greenland, passengers and crew witnessed a strange anomaly occurring outside the aircraft.
So these people on this airplane,
Airways Flight 307, while in mid-air, stopped at complete inertia, suspended from gravity from total.
this is the one, 13 minutes.
U.S. Airways would not
U.S. Airways.
which has remained unexplained. What follows is the only video of the phenomenon recorded from a digital camera from onboard the aircraft.
This is kind of... Now, I think the plane is moving. Oh, this is a bad version.
You can see their heads shaking.
See, now they're going to record the ground as if it's not moving, but I thought it was.
I noticed in this one that there are some sound cuts. Just that you can hear the
See, the mountains in the background, they say stop moving. But I think they're just far away.
And I don't know if that was a camera thing.
Keep your eye on that. Keep your eye on that.
We should look at this with a fresh mind and consider all of the little anomalous things in these videos. And those sound cuts could be indicative of, I don't know, malfunctioning electrical equipment usually indicates a change in something. Electricity, for one, current.
See, they're moving. You can see the ground moving right there. See?
Frequency, there can be disruptions. So I think we should keep all those things in mind when we look at this stuff. Since we don't understand these phenomena, we need to really
the guy, the problem with this is the person who is videotaping this never stops moving.
Very challenging to separate what we have been taught.
So, in my opinion, I see a different terrain than we did 20 seconds ago.
Okay, so I'm going to comment on what she said. So
this is a poor video, but I believe they're totally being misled by a video that's extremely shaky and is not doing what it's supposed to be doing, and that's being still. You know what I mean? Stop moving. That's all I can tell you. If you stop moving, we can tell what's real and what's fake. It's just ridiculous. I've got to find this one. You know what? Forget it. I'm done. All right, one more thing and we'll get out of here. We've already been on for 2 hours. The sun simulator, before I forget. Right? My God, I almost fell asleep. The sun simulator and floating planes. So let me pull up the sun simulator videos. Or video. Now, people think that these are people without the critical thinking skills that you would need to be a very good researcher. You're just going to have to watch it. Tell me what you think. They're showing you that that's the sun simulator, that they're going up and repairing it. There were missions to go repair the sun, you guys. Okay? I'm so embarrassed right now. I can't even wait until you see what, oh my God, I'm going to go crazy. I'm already getting angry. I'm already getting mad. Hold on. Okay, that's total bullshit right there. There's no sound to this. Do you see that flashing? This camera cannot handle pointing the camera at the sun. And this is an anomaly that happens on a lot of cameras that are cheaper. And this is just multiple overexposure. The camera is not set on the right setting to stare at something like this, and it blocks out. It's trying to make sense of the brightness of the sun. And the blinking that you saw is the camera trying to figure it out. It's a digital artifact. It's not the sun is going out. They think the sun is flashing. It's the camera doing it. There will be sound soon, but who cares? You don't hear anybody else screaming or yelling. You won't, because that's why they cut the sound out. That's just a camera effect. I've had that happen on a cheap camera I used. Why doesn't it happen the whole time? It just doesn't. Here it is again. Obviously, a cheaper camera, probably a plastic lens, and it just can't figure out why this bright object is staring at it in the face. So it's just an anomaly. That's all it is. It's not the sun. It's not not a sun simulator. I mean, come on. Here it is again. People are just unbelievably uninformed.
Southwestern South Dakota. This photograph here and this one right here were taken by a man named Jonathan back on August the 8th.
Oh, see, that's a face.
He sent these pictures to me early this week, and he noticed something in both of these pictures. These are two separate pictures he took just seconds apart, and he sent them to me wanting to know what, if anything, he thought maybe this object was in the sky in this photograph. He didn't see it when he took the picture, and he wasn't sure what to make of it, and I, quite honestly, am not either. But it's very interesting, and I'm going to share it with you guys and let you decide. This is where he took both of those pictures that I just showed you.
I've never seen
right
this.
Here.
I don't know what this is.
Pictures. This one and the one before. Right here in southwest South Dakota at Crazy Horse Monument. And here it is on Google Earth. Right here. So that's where we're at. August the 8th. So I took the pictures and I zoomed in, kind of altered the contrast color, did all kinds of different things with the color, the clarity, highlights, everything that I could possibly do to pull out whatever this possibly was in these photos. And you can see it up here in the upper left-hand corner at about the 11 o'clock position. This is a picture that I have adjusted a little bit. I'm going to show you many, many more.
I don't know why this is
I've never seen anything quite like this. And if you look at the pictures just in general, they're very pleasant. There's nothing.
Oh my God, he takes forever.
Let's see here. I've got so many pictures going that it's unbelievable. Let's just go with this one. There it is again. Pay attention to whatever these things are. There's one here at 6 o'clock, because I'm going to refer to these here later in the video. There's one at 6, and there's one way over here at about the 1 o'clock position. But just kind of pay attention to the distance and location of both of those things, whatever they are. I have no idea what those are either. And you'll see what I mean here. There's the one at 6 o'clock position. Here's the one at 1. This is picture number 2. This is picture 1. This is picture 2. And I've adjusted the color in both of these pictures. you can see that this little white object, whatever that is, it was in both of his photographs. In this photograph, it's at the 4 o'clock position. And this is in the same position with respect to 1 o'clock. It's just farther away. So I don't know if these things, whatever they are, were moving, or if this possibly moved a little bit, whatever it is. I have no idea, but I've seen hundreds and hundreds of lens flares in photographs, and this is just simply not your typical lens flare by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, it looks like a honeycomb. It's a hexagon, and when you look at it really close, it's got definition. It's got a circle in the middle of it. It's actually kind of neat. And from the research that I've done the last couple of days, there's been other people see these things in the sky. Actually saw them. One guy saw them twice as he was viewing the moon. I'll get to that also here in just a minute. But let me just show you the photographs that I've taken. I'll give you that guy's witness testimony.
Is he going to tell me that that's a clock in the sky? Is that what he's going to say? Like it's 5 o'clock or something?
That saw something similar to this in front of the moon in his telescope. He had his camera and telescope set up on the moon from Florida, and he's seen something similar to this twice. This is another perspective of this. I've adjusted the, in fact, this is full negative. Exactly what I've done. I've taken it and put it into full negative. Looks like a honeycomb. What else do we have? Here's another look at it. It's very dark in this, but I've done all this. I've adjusted all the light just so you can see it at a different perspective. Different perspective. Definitely got a honeycomb thing going on here. What do we got here? This one here, it almost looks like it's got reflectivity. And here's the object at 6 and 1 o'clock.
Okay, we got it.
Here's another look at it here.
Oh my God. Oh God, then he puts it in.
You can see the clouds almost look like they are moving around this thing. But maybe not. I don't know. Light looks different up here. Looks a little darker down here.
All right, I have to admit, that is interesting. That is, I don't know.
Here, like maybe it's tilted at an angle, or there's something that goes vertical. You can almost imagine a vertical triangle going here, 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 meeting at a point up here at the top.
Yeah.
Because there does look like a star at the top.
It does look like that.
These things could be vertical, and that could be why it's reflecting light on this side and not on this side. I don't know. I'm just thinking outside the box of simply what this thing could be. It's not your typical lens flare.
Oh, I know what it is. Oh my God, I just figured it out. Okay, I've believe it or not, I wish I could prove it this second. I'd have to look at a lot of video. I've taped balloons before for research purposes, and this anomaly showed up. Now, maybe because it was reflective and it was just the way the camera, saw it. But this little octagon or pentagon shape, whatever this is, isn't really the object we're looking at. This is an anomalous effect of something that is either reflecting light or is a balloon. See, now, the reason there you see a white dot down here and another dot up there is because this balloon just happened to be reflecting the sun in the open patch of the sky where the sun can hit it. The other ones seem to be in clouds. And we'll show you. They're in clouds. See how this one has an opening? Let's see if I can get a closer one here. Use this against them. See, this is above the clouds. The other ones are in the clouds. Well, see, that one's higher up. All I know is this is an anomaly I have seen before. Now I know why it looks familiar. Let's get to I want to see something. Let's see what this is.
Hey, you guys, this is super mind-blowing stuff. Please stick around all the way to the end because you're really going to be missing out if you just watch the beginning and quit, because this is not your typical sun simulator 5G live 5 video. I want to show how all of this stuff is related into one network, how these are all parts of one system, and
Oh
how
my
this
God,
system of
no.
control is, oh, terrifying, terrifying shadow government plot.
Oh
The
my
world we
God.
live in is nothing have. So if you're thinking along those lines, you can deep state, satanic, awful Luciferian control system. They've already done it. They have been beaming these frequencies at our brains and over our nations for a long time. People have been taking these pictures in our skies for a long time, and they pop up on the UFO sites. People say, "Is this a UFO? What is this that I see in the sky?" And other people say, "This is the sun simulator. Our sun is dying," and all of this type of thing. And you know, we don't know. The Bible says the sun will go black, so maybe it is. So a lot of that's speculation. But what we do know is that these things exist. Whether you call them a sun simulator or whether you call them LED transmitters, they are repeatedly spotted in our skies, and people take pictures of them. I mean, there it is.
She just said people take pictures of them. One person took a picture and got this. Man, I gotta tell you, I have a freaking, damn it, I've got a video that could definitely, a matter of fact, I think I can get it. Hold on a second. I have a video that would blow them away, and they would say that I videotaped the sun simulator, which I haven't. Anyway, that's the sun simulator routine for tonight. I don't think I have any more videos on it. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Yeah, I'm not playing any copywritten stuff today. Yeah, that's it on the sun simulator. Do you believe that there is a sun simulator? Huh? Sun simulator repairs. I wanted to pull that up. I don't know where it is. See if I can find it. They were doing repairs in space. See, they keep showing us the same picture over and over. This might be it.
Up YouTube, it's Richie from Boston. Today is the 1st of September 2016, and I'm on my own channel right here, and I'm showing you a video I put up back in March. Do you remember this?
No.
It was the patent for the NASA STAR program, where they were building, along with Bausch and Lomb, they were building a sun simulator. And I had some other stuff in here that I showed you, you know, what it looked like, the basic layout of it, and it's basically a honeycomb pattern. Let me see if I can find it. Where are we at? Right here. This was the layout of it. This is what it looked like for the most part. And over the years, I've made tons of videos on, well, over the last like 5 years, I've made tons of videos on chemtrails. And I was always wondering why, if they didn't chemtrail all day, they made sure that they chemtrailed at the end of the day, so it was completely obliterating the sunset. You couldn't see the sunset no matter what. Like this right here is as good as it gets. You can tell the sun or a sun simulator is right there.
Oh my God, I can't get over this. Do you know how stupid that sounds? Do you know how dumb that sounds to even mention that? That means they would have to go to every single state and city and country and spray chemtrails to block out the sun simulator. Are you freaking nuts? Oh my God, this is so epic. Epic. You know, you think you heard it all. And then this guy comes out. Richie from Boston, you get no more respect from Richie from AZ. I'm done being compared with our names. It ends there. I don't want any comparison with this guy. Because now I know this guy's bonkos. There's no freaking sun simulator. There's no proof of it. This is people are just like taking pictures at sunset. And they're saying, oh, there's two suns over here. Must be Nibiru, whatever the frick you want to call it. And there's no proof. That's an anomalous effect that happens with the two suns, dillholes. This doesn't show shit. Richie from Boston just said this is proof, I think.
Or a sun simulator is like
right?
This right here is as good as it gets. You can tell the sun or a sun simulator is right there.
You can tell it's there, guys. You can tell. Can you tell that's a sun simulator right there? I see a sunset.
Most part, you can see it, but it's totally you know, your view is obscured totally, so you cannot see it completely. And at least where I live, it's stepped up exponentially. This is what it looks like after the Smithsonian debunks it. It's even worse. It literally looks like it's behind plastic.
Oh my God.
You can only see the color of what may or may not be the sun. And the sky is totally red. It literally looks like it's encased in plastic. Worse than it's ever been.
Oh my God.
And then I find...
Where the fuck do you get that shit from? How is that encased in plastic? How can you say that from a video of something at sunset? This guy should not be on the internet. He's got 274,000 people watching him, 274,000 subscribers, almost 500,000 views on him saying, there's plastic around this. You can see it. There's plastic, obviously, but you can't see it because it's behind these clouds. Yeah, obviously, but you can't see it. Obviously, it's there, but you can't see it. Asshole face.
Find other YouTube channels that are working on the exact same thing. And as you can see in this video, he's showing you the layout, the design of the solar simulator, which is right here. It's all the same paperwork, so we're all on the same page. No pun intended.
No pun at
now,
all.
This is Jeff P's YouTube channel. I'll leave a link in the description. But he has got pictures of the sun, much like...
I'm okay. I'm losing it. I'm losing my fucking mind. Excuse my French. How stupid do you think we are? Pretty fucking stupid. These people think we're idiots. They're the idiots. That's an anomalous thing that happens on a camera when you point it at the fucking sun. My teeth have fallen out. Sorry. I keep spit swallowing and these teeth, when I talk this much, I only get a few hours worth. I'm telling you, I can't. It makes me angry. It just does. I get angry and I have to calm down because this is so stupid. I have that same anomalous effect looking to the north, the south, the east, the west. Whenever I accidentally pointed my camera at the sun, or I'm even going to tell you, a flashlight will duplicate that effect. As soon as I get a way that I can afford to buy the digital converter, I know it's only $100, but I just switched jobs and I'm in between paychecks, so I can't do it right now. But I guarantee it, by January, I will be blowing these fucknods out of the internet with proof that what I have on video is not a sun simulator. And I'll even do demonstrations on the fucking show to show you. I should do it now. Camera's over there. This is so stupid. It makes me embarrassed for humanity. It really does. This really is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. It's so stupid.
The ones we showed you back in March, but these are way better.
Oh, you're an idiot.
Way better. You can tell that this is not legit. Look at the straight line of the flares coming off the sun, going straight up and straight down. And in his video, he shows how you could use a magnifying glass to obscure an object. See that red ball? Well, with this shield in place, you can't see it at all.
Oh my God.
And I got a funny feeling that's exactly what they're doing.
Oh
it
my
explains an awful lot.
Oh my God.
You see the red ball? Well, if you move the glass a certain way, you can't see it at all.
You're a
And that's what
fucking
they're doing
genius.
to us right now.
Yeah. Hey, genius. You think if they moved the ball in your city that they would have to, or move the glass piece, they would have to move it all over the fucking world, you dick face. Oh, you're such a dick, Richie. Richie from Boston, you're fucking ruining it for yourself. You're an idiot. God, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Can you imagine how stupid you would have to be to believe this shit? I'm sorry. If anybody believes in it, you're just not all there. How can you believe in what this guy's saying? Okay, maybe there is a sun simulator, but there's no proof of it. And this isn't proving it. This is not keeping it. I'm telling you, this is stupidity at its finest. And I love it.
And hundreds of channels are catching this stuff. Hundreds of them are catching it. I put the video back up in March, and I put a few, two suns videos here and there.
Two suns.
But now that I really started looking into it, this stuff's coming at us left and right.
Oh,
There's something going on.
Oh my God.
There's a reason they picked up the chemtrail spraying big time.
Dude, they would have to chemtrail the whole fucking country at one time. How stupid. He thinks the world revolves around him. It's not just Boston, dick face. Don't forget about the people on the other side of the globe. Oh my God, how stupid are you? Chemtrailing is not going to do shit to block that out. Oh, they're going to chemtrail. So if they're chemtrailing over where I live in Phoenix, Arizona, that doesn't block the sun simulator down in Tucson 100 miles away. It doesn't block it in Sedona 90 miles away. Asshole face. Think before you speak. My God, how stupid are you? How stupid are people? And we're almost out of time. But I can't hear. I got to hear more of it.
I've got subscribers sending me pictures of things like this. Look at this. Here's the moon, obscured by chemtrails, as always. But look what's right next to it. He sent me a series of pictures. Watch this.
That's an anomalous effect that's happening to his camera because he's fucking pointing it at a bright moon. And it's just the reflection off the encasing of the fucking camera lens, you shithead. And I love every minute of it. This just makes me look that much fucking smarter. How stupid are people? That's the name. That's the theme of the show tonight. How stupid are you? Richie from Boston, asshole face. That's what he is. Because he's got no brains. Just an asshole for a face. When you have 247,000 subscribers, you have a responsibility. And I don't care if you have one listener. You have a responsibility as someone who has a show to do real research. This is not real research, guys. This is a guy who is not figuring it out. He's not listening to, and I've read the chat rooms. There's a lot of people that love this shit, and there's people in there that are laughing like I am, and you are. And people have said the same thing I did. It's the camera. It's an effect from the camera. It's because it's bright and it's causing reflection. You know, they don't get it. But the fact is, they don't even try to debunk it. They don't even try. They just accept what they're seeing and ending it there because they don't have they lack critical thinking skills. They don't know where to go next. Nobody ever taught them. Well, let me tell you something, asshole face. Nobody ever taught me. But I think when you have a higher education, maybe even a better IQ, I don't know. But to look at something like this and not try to debunk it and think that what you're seeing is the final outcome, and you have 274,000 subscribers, you have a responsibility as a host to do the right thing and figure it out and not rely on other people. And that's what he's doing. I've got hundreds of people sending me things. Well, people are sending me stuff. And look at this. What is this object over here? It's blue.
Planet or body is right next to the moon. Is this why they're chemtrailing us so bad? Is something actually coming in? Now, this video right here was captured by a...
Guys, hold on. He says, is something actually coming in? This video was posted September 1st, 2016, over 2 years ago. Gee, has it come in yet, Richie? Have you figured it out 2 years later? I'd love to go and I'd love to see if this guy figured shit out, but I ain't going to.
Channel called the Zion Warrior.
Look at
and
this.
No, he's not into the religion of Zion. But watch this.
Oh my God, I'm embarrassed already. Let me guess, it's going to flash. Is it going to flash? Is it going to flash?
There's the sun with the black dot in the center, correct?
What's the black dot?
Watch when he zooms in.
Oh no, it's going to start flashing. I guarantee it. Watch, it's going to start flashing. And you know why, right?
Nope, sorry about that. Watch this.
The camera can't accept the light that's coming in. Oh, I thought it was going to flash.
Are you seeing that cube?
Oh no. Yeah, what is that, Richie from
you
Boston?
See that? Right in the middle of the sun.
Oh my God, it must be the Matrix. Oh my God, it's
And of course, that's some sort of camera malfunction or whatever to the effect.
The
problem is, he was only able to capture this on certain days in June and July, and then again last week.
Yeah, you know why, Dick from Boston? Because the angle of the sun at sunset or sunrise created that effect. Oh my God, Richie, you need to be slapped, kicked, punched, raped. I mean, something's got to happen to this guy to snap him out of this funk.
Back.
2 years ago. I'm going to check and see if this dick fuck has anything else recent. Let's see what Dick has here. Oh, shit. 2 days ago. Holy shit. Oh, no. World War III has begun. More proof. Wildfires. Now, I believe the wildfires were set on purpose. Did you see that explosion that was caught on satellite that shows how the fire started? Yet nobody's talking about it, but there was an explosion right where the fire started, at the exact point of origin, to be precise. But nobody's talking about it. Look at him, psyops. It looks like he stopped talking about the sun simulator. Wow. I guess he stopped. He must have figured it out. This is a month ago, and I don't see it. He's trying. He's getting into the Illuminati strike down of Elon Musk. 5G, how they're hiding the truth. Ooh. AI will read your DNA. Yay. Oh, and let's see what he says about invasion preparing the masses 2 months ago. Let's see what Dick from Boston, Assface, has to say.
So I'm going to try to do this
Oh
live.
my God, it's fucking... You know who that is? That looks like Bubba the Love Sponge.
I drive. Okay, it is 9:41 Eastern Standard Time. Bunch of atheists, so that's good. Eclipsing the sun by 90%. So something the size of the sun, almost by 90%, allegedly was recorded by NASA going one way and then returning, coming back the other way. NASA claimed it was the moon, but that's ridiculous on so many levels. The fact that NASA stream, unbelievable. I'm in Peabody, Massachusetts. I'm not in
That wasn't me. I didn't do that glitch. That was him. He edited it.
Venezuela or deep, dark Africa, and you can't keep a cell phone signal. At any rate, when they started spraying the skies, right there and then, it made me think that these guys are ready. When 2018 rolled around, I told you that these guys were more than likely, almost definitely going to pull a massive false flag event.
Wait a minute. He said this? I don't think it was him who brought that out. I think that was already written in books years ago, like many, many years ago, in the 50s and 60s, I think. They had all this planned out. They did. It's been planned out. You had the war on drugs, the war on terrorists, and now we're going to have the war against the aliens. This is the final piece of the Illuminati puzzle. And I know I'm reaching. Hey, I'm just telling you what I heard. I'm not making any claims like Dick from Boston here. Assface.
Because 2018 numerically breaks down to 9/11.
Oh my God. 2018, it breaks down to 9/11, yet nothing has happened. Nothing's happened. What's happening, little Dickie? Nothing has happened. He made this video September 15th. 2 months later, you've only got another 2 months and a half left.
It's just what they do. Their track record is impeccable as far as using certain dates to pull off certain things against certain people, meaning us. The Sunspot Observatory and the town that it's in are tiny. The FBI is shutting it down. To me, it just looks like they're prepping. They're absolutely prepping. Now, tie that in with the fact that SpaceX just said they're going to put a reusable rocket with people.
All right, I can't. I'm done.
In it around the moon. Does this sound like we're getting set up?
That's another thing. Yeah, SpaceX is about to send people on their voyage around the moon. You know, the first trip around the moon with civilians. That is interesting. That's going to happen next year, though, Richie from Boston. It should happen 2018 because 2018 is another version of 9/11, according to you. Guys, you know what? I'm done for tonight. I mean, that's it. I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to have to get out of here. I'm getting angry. So, look, I want to thank everybody for showing up. I know I look like the Unabomber. Somebody said I looked like the Unabomber. Hey, I wore a button-up shirt for you guys. I went all out tonight. Look, as soon as I get things working perfectly, everything will be all right. We'll be okay. Everything's going to look good. Where are we here? Let me just do this. Where is it? All right. So, that's the show for tonight. Now, I had a flat tire earlier today, so I'm going to go check it out, see if it leaked out again. It's leaked out once, but I think somebody's letting the air out of my tire. I don't know why. But there was no nails in the tire. It's a kind of a new tire. It's not that old. So I've got Fix-A-Flat in the car ready to go just in case. So, tonight, that's it, guys. I want to thank everybody. I see we still have a few people left, 10 people chilling out. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I know I didn't talk too much tonight. I did more video than I did talking. But every show is going to be a little different. It's never the same with me. So I'm glad. I hope we brought some information, some truth, some energy. And I want you guys to know that I'm here for you. So don't forget this. Join up to, I know I don't have the right one up here. Join GUFON Network, the website. If you want to get updated information from me every day, I update it every day. Go to gufon.net. It's free. You get your own page. Here, let me show you real quick. You get everything that I get. Here's the website. Let me pull it up. So here's the website, GUFON. Giordano's UFO Network. That's my last name. Social and truthful. And here I forgot to talk about this tonight. Well, I talked about this one. But this is the website. If you join here, you get to make your own page like me. Now here's B. Baker. He made his own page. So let's take a look. You can make it whatever you want. That's his kitty cat up there. And you can change the whole thing here. Make it whatever you want. It's your website under the umbrella of GUFON Network. So it's free to join. It's gufon.net, or you can go to gufon.ning.com. And that's the home page here. I update it every day. So, something different every day being added on here. It's only open now a month and a half. Got a lot of stuff on there. Got almost 300 articles and videos and a whole bunch of stuff going on. We got Brett. He joined. We got a lot of people here. Look, there's UFO Jesus. Some pictures people posted, including myself. Comments over here. Things that are happening. I post up on YouTube. Go there. Activities and all updated feeds go over here. It's like there's a live chat room 24/7. If you guys ever, eventually I'll have the show going on live here. I keep forgetting to do it. But, we have discussions. We have all kinds of things. There's all the videos. There's 72 of them right now. Here's the fires. That's my documentary I was in, Fast Walkers. Anyway, just a bunch of cool stuff. Things that I find interesting and actual news from around the paranormal world, which we post every day. So join up there for free. And right now we've got 75 articles. I try to keep everything an even keel. All right. So I'm Rich Giordano. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me tonight. I'm glad you did. And I will see you guys Thursday. Now, I almost forgot. I'm going to be doing a movie night. Saturday night, we're going to be doing movie night. Maybe Friday, I don't know. Maybe Friday night. I don't know. We'll talk about it during the week. But I want to have a movie night where I just come on here, I pick a movie. It'll be something like, we were talking about doing Zeitgeist. So maybe I'll play Zeitgeist, something like that. Paranormal, conspiratorial. And, we'll talk about it in the chat room. I will shut up the entire movie, play it from beginning to end, and then we can talk about it afterwards. So I just decided we'll do something different. Anyway, that's it for tonight, guys. I'm out of here. Rich Giordano signing off. Have a great Sunday. What's left of it. I've got 54 minutes left and got to go to work tomorrow. Have a good work week. I'll see you guys during the week. Thanks again. Bye-bye.